Hey everyone, back. Cave rounds of Swiss. We are now in the second round of Swiss. Just me tonight here on commentary. I'm Chad. Randomizer. Tonight in the second round of tsjonte. That's Thomas on the left and on the right. Let's go ahead and get this thing underway. Again shortly. Fun race. We've got all Knuckles versus Mega Man, Chu, Tessie, and Laika. Are underway. If it's the first time you're joining us here on Ancient Cave, a lot of Earthbound has been ripped out. All the rooms have been rearranged. A 9-floor dungeon. Players just have to walk their way through this dungeon and find Gaius and beat him. Been seeing a lot of times in around the 1 hour 10 minute so far. Didn't set up the prediction. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Nice. Minutes. There we go. The prediction is underway. All right. Water's looking pretty green today. I wouldn't suggest jumping in. All nameless Knuckles even on the side. Interesting. Knuckles do not deserve names. Our runners just making their way through fun, as usual. Any skips or elevators so they can get graphical glitch there. Bessie. Actually, some people in the hack community on some graphical glitches involving diagonals and ladders and sprites going on right now. May bring some improvements that are found there. Northside is here on floor 1, so Thomas is going to check the hint man. Who do we have? Sentry Robot on floor 1, that's kind of a hard boss. Brilliant Edge Sprout on 4. Thunder and Storm on 8. No Doggo, no Nightmare. So, interesting. Some hard bosses, but not the two hard bosses. Here's a skip for Thomas. He's gone through the backside of the theater, and now he is into side. This. Don't know. Will he check all the presents? Presumably that's going to be the first thing he does. Oh, no problem here trying to talk to that shark. Buki takes the exact same, is also in 4 side. Fun music on floor. Czikubi is going to take that same skip, so we're going to leave our fun music. He will join Thomas on whatever floor this is. Something weird has happened on the music on this floor. Thomas gets a green swirl on his first enemy on this floor. That's going to help out when you are fighting an enemy off of a skip. If you're taking a skip off of floor 1 onto a later floor, one of the most important things that you're going to want to do is your first enemy you're going to want to encounter by itself. Just one enemy. Trying to take on even a simple enemy, if you try and take on 2 or 3 at the same time, odds are you're going to lose at least one kid, if not multiple, or take a party wipe. If you can take on even one enemy alone, then your freezes are often good enough. If you can get a green swirl, that's even better. There was a Franklin badge in that present loop that Thomas went through, so that's interesting. Thomas went through the present loop, and I don't think he did. That is Thomas with the Franklin badge, while it's not. If this ends up being the way, so if Czikubi does not end up coming back to Moonside and checking out the present loop, that could be quite a difference. As a result of not checking the present loop, Czikubi is a little bit ahead of Thomas right now, just walking through. That Franklin badge could be a real difference maker in the loop. 4 bugs. Fortunately, Czikubi, this isn't Czikubi's first fight on this advanced floor. For instance, this fight, even though these are just bugs, if this was his first fight coming off of that skip, it'd be rather difficult. Thankfully, he's taken one fight, got some experience, so some better attacks. Hopefully he'll be able to make it out of this one, although I don't think auto-fighting is going to be the answer here. By fire, however, a good answer. Ball lives long enough to get this next one off. Teddy Bear takes the hit. Just what it's there for. Out of that fight. Oh, they both did the present loop. Okay. There's a lot going on for me. Lots to keep eyes on. Appreciate chat. Keep an eye on things. That Franklin badge is not on Paula as Paula Thunder hit. Gets into the exact same fight Tom just now concluding. So, our runners high-fiving here at the mimetic art. Yuki's going to run away from it. That'll get him out of this fight and out of this room faster. Goddess band in the bottom. So, nearly identically positioned. I think we're just having some speed. It's the big on the low levels of present behind. Fantastic. All the kids will live. XP. It's fantastic. Both are runners with a pretty normal skip off of one in somewhere. 5. I do actually know the answer. You're seeing pretty typical SIP strategies. Like I said, they made sure they got their first fight with a solo enemy, and now they're just taking a couple fights where they need to, doing magic attacks that get these enemies dead and level up, checking presence as they go, as we We already found a Franklin badge here on a great find. Mammoth Burger is okay. The downside of Mammoth Burger is it is not a burger that will work for the 3 burger skips. Monkeys in the Mole Cave will take a double burger or a hamburger, not take a Mammoth Burger. Monkeys. Not into it. That's of course not the reason. The reason is that in Vanilla Earthbound, by the time you get to the... you can't get a Mammoth. So they did not bother to go to the special case for Mammoth Burger. For using a Mammoth. Pizza skip. Pizza available. That skip right now. Keep in the back of your mind. Not going to check who's in our restroom today. Down the exit mouse. Interesting. Another skip. This is skip sandwich skip. I like the aggressive exit mouse. There's no... the exit mouse doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever if you haven't set it at all. So we're somewhere in the middle of floor 4 or 5, somewhere around there. You're at an intersection room. I like setting the mouse. Maybe you won't use it. You probably won't use it. Especially if the dead end's only like 2 rooms away. You'd obviously rather save your mouse. Just come back. But you might as well put it down because you're never going to use it to go all the way back to floor 1. It takes 2 seconds, I think, of menuing. Put it down. And it could come in really handy. So I think it's worth taking the 2 seconds. You know, if you really aggressively mouse, like you mouse 5 more times than your opponent does, that's going to cost you 10 seconds. That's almost certainly not going to matter in the race. If you use the mouse in one of those times and your opponent never uses the mouse, that could save you 3, 4, 5 minutes. That could determine the race. Thomas uses his big baller rocket on, has that available. Looking at differences between the 2 runners, that's one that could come up. Lots of foppies here today. Thomas checked he was in the bathroom either. Mystery bathroom. Just picked up a wet towel for that potential monkey skip. You're a chicken, ready to be released. Run humane. Doesn't quite dodge the bot this time. Wandering around this floor. Check these shops. Bombs available. He's not going to. EX water here. I'm gonna pick some up. There we see who's in the bathroom. It's the nurse. Thomas sold one of the coins that he picked up. Or to pick up, I believe that was possibly bottles of DX water specifically. That could certainly be a difference. We can imagine, you know, if we get low peep growth rules coming down to a Gygus fight, Difference between winning or losing a Gygas fight could come down to those 2 bottle of DX waters. Pick up right here. Elevators, me and Rude to both our runners today. Lots of enemies side in on them. Unlike with the, you just have normal stairs. Go back and forward on the stairs. Avoid enemies on the stairs, but the elevator. Chikibuki taking another skip without ever having known what floor he was on the first place. He's on to another one. It's Dungeon Man. Well, he finds the heal for whatever floor it is. Still no good sense of if this is backward. It could literally be any game. Knowledge of this. Anywhere from 9. Well, not 1, because we heard the song for 1. So anywhere from 2. Hyper Beam, add some back to Jeff. A lot of enemies showing up for trying to figure out what floor. This does not pick up the wet. The difference. Of course, they're not even on the same floor anymore, so that's also a rather large difference. Fan of the Blue Desert. Between the music and the palette, it's very nighttime feeling. Oh, and Chikibuki gets showtimed. 1 cutscene left in the game. Sit and relax and watch a show. Try and reposition my mic to be a bit more audible. That work? Thomas has found the same skip that Chikibuki has taken. Czikubi, rather. Thomas sees some enemies. He sees Shark Punks. That's going to indicate, presumably, I'm going to indicate to him that this is a skip backwards and that he needs to leave this skip. That wherever he was forward. Because if I see sharks, I'm going to assume floors 1 or 2. So that's actually rather huge that Czikubi had to go through a number of rooms and didn't see any spawns. And ended up getting showtimed. Whereas if Thomas ends up abandoning this skip, he hasn't yet. He ends up abandoning this skip, that's a rather big time loss for Czikubi compared to Thomas. Check in on my spoiler, I can confirm. Yes, Thomas has abandoned that skip, and I can confirm that this skip is floor 2. Czikubi still no enemies to be seen. It's amazing how much just spawns not showing up for him is causing him to lose so much time on this floor. He only needs 1 spawn. There, crow. There, that crow. Alright, now he knows. That's gotta be a bad feeling, to know that you sat through the entire showtime and wandered all the way around this floor. We've gone backwards. Gutsy bat for Thomas. That's pretty big. Now we can presume. Now see, here's exactly what I was talking about. Czikubi would have had to find his way all the way back, but he used that mouse aggressively, and so that's going to save time. He still lost a bunch of time due to that the unfortunate lack of spawns before he got to the showtime. But it would have been worse had he not aggressively moused. So I like the aggressive mousing. Still not in a great spot, but it would have been much worse without the aggressive mouse. And Shibuki is now right on Thomas's tail, finds that same gutsy bat, so both of our players have a good way of putting out damage. Most enemies won't be too terribly difficult, given that they're, I'll go ahead and mark it, that they are on floor 4. They don't know they're on floor 4, but we do. Green there for Thomas, and we see the gutsy bat paying off, along with the item he bought for Jeff, combines to give him the automatic win there. Saves a bit of time. Needed 2 party members with good hit points, because there were 2 enemies in that fight, and on a green swirl, comparing to see if you automatically win compares to the offense of the strongest party member versus strongest enemy, then the second strongest party member versus second strongest enemy, and so on. It's completely different logic for a normal swirl automatic wins, because why would it be the same when it could be more complicated? The Earthbound programming story. Specifically for what determines the chances for an auto win, there's a lot of details to it. As I was just saying, it's different between a green swirl and a plain swirl. If you want the full details, there's a page called Equations on starman.net. If you search for starman.net equations, I believe it gets you to that page. That has a whole bunch of technical details about stuff you may be wondering about, including the odds of an auto win. Although some PK hackers did discover just this week that the documents in there for what determines a gut save is incorrect. And in fact, what the game tells you about a gut save is incorrect. The gut save does not go off of your character's guts. It goes off of the enemy attacking you's guts. Little programming glitch there that no one has noticed in 26 years of this game. Or at least if someone has noticed it, then they the knowledge didn't get shared out into the community. But yeah, gut save goes off of the attacker's guts instead of the defender's. Definitely a programming accident, based on, you know, the dialogue in the game about what gut saves are. It's interesting. We saw that pizza skip, but Czikubi, sorry, I'm gonna twist that name up a lot. Czikubi did not pick up the pizza phone number here. I don't know if he's seen a phone on this floor, so it might not be possible to get that pizza skip. But I would definitely suggest picking up the pizza phone number there for 2 reasons. 1, for the pizza skip, and 2, for a large pizza. If you need to do large pizza strats on Gygus, if you end up with low HP rolls on everyone, having a large pizza means you don't even need to worry about even if it's a rockin' beta with your low HP rolls. Let's feed the team or Jeff, feed the team a large pizza on the first turn. Should be good. Scooby's found the boss for floor 4, and as he'll now see, it's floor 4. Flame and Sprout is not the easiest floor 4 boss. I'd say that boss list, it didn't have our 2 toughest bosses, but other than that, it's kind of a hard boss list. Raizakun, to answer your question, yes. Higher enemy guts does equal higher chance of a gut save. The Plague Rat of Doom, in vanilla anyways, has 250 guts, so if Plague Rat of Doom hits you, you will gut save 50% of the time. Both our runners now fighting the floor 4 boss, this Trillionage Sprout. Rough boss for floor 4. Thankfully, they both have nests with the ability to put out a lot of damage, and Paula seems to have rolled a lot of psychic points this seed, so that's going to be fortunate. Czikubi gets through the fight, he'll be on to floor 5. See if Thomas can follow in his footsteps. Belch Base is our first room off of floor 5. It's a lot of doors. Some annoying NPCs. Lots of room for spawn plates. Here's a phone right here. Czikubi had picked up that phone number. He could get a large pizza here. What you doing? Of course, in most seeds you don't need the large pizza strat, but you never know when you're going to need it. Now they have seen that their player characters have fairly high HP rolls so far, so this is probably not a seed in which large pizza strats will be necessary. But again, it's one of those things where it's a minimal time loss to talk to the pizza person and get the phone number. Potentially turning a losing Gygas fight into a winning one. Every runner has to make their own decision, what's worth it and what's not, but I would think it would be. Thomas on to floor 5. Did pick up a death in that fight, which he did not. See how that affects floor 5 exploration. The Suporma! Extremely valuable. Oh, he throws it away. Ah. Might regret that later on when you need the Suporma. Nice green swirl. Gets the instant win off of those flies. Turns a potential time waste into not so much of one. Hey, here we go. This is Belch Base swarming with spawn plates, making navigation real annoying. This plate in particular, you have to do a room transition that Czikubi is at right now. You have to do a room transition to try and despawn that, and that's extra time loss. Ends up giving it up. Takes the fight. Runners fairly evenly matched right now. What differences could there be? I believe Czikubi has a wet towel, where Thomas does not. And I will say Thomas did have an exit mouse, where Czikubi does not, but Czikubi's picked up another exit mouse. So that difference is nullified. And again, when you pick up an exit mouse, assuming your last save is somewhere back where you would never go again, as soon as I pick up an exit mouse, I see an exit mouse room, I would place the exit mouse. Being in a exit mouse room, a great place to set your exit mouse, because then if you have to exit mouse back, you can get it right back away. You might not ever use that exit mouse. Maybe you only use it like 10% of the time. But again, it costs you all of like 2 seconds. And that 10% of the time, it could be extremely valuable. So I say, when you see an exit mouse room, place an exit mouse. The one thing you do have to be careful of is you want to make sure you're standing in a spot where there's not going to be a NPC that starts in that exact same spot, because then when you exit mouse back into the room, could be right on top of the exit mouse, and then you would be stuck and you would have to reset. So make sure you're standing somewhere where there's not going to be an NPC when the room loads. Both players get a rabbit's foot here. Could be useful. if they find a multi-bottle rocket vent. We are into Central Onnet, the largest hub here on floor 5. Rough red. These aren't too tough, but it's more that they're going to drain a bunch of Czikubi's psychic points here for a fight that he really doesn't want to be in. Waste a little time, drain a bunch of psychic points, going to make moving around this floor a little harder. Make him really want to see healing opportunity. Finds a skip sandwich. That skip sandwich skip was quite a while ago, so he goes ahead and tosses it. Now Thomas is on to Central Onnet as well, taking a slightly different path Czikubi did. See how that plays out. So Rest Valley, there's 4 presents available, but that is not worth the time on floor 5. Be with the skip. Where will this go? Forward, back. It's Tucson. There's a hippie. That smells like backward to me. This diamond doesn't tell you much. But getting the instant win on the diamond should tell you plenty. I imagine he'll abandon the skip immediately. There's the that pizza skip that we've already seen. He, as expected, is back to 5. Large pizza out of the chest. Thomas. We can do those large pizza strats that I was talking about without needing to pick up the phone number, which is good. We've already passed the phone number. Czikubi finds the full heal here at South Desert. Good, this is a repeatable full heal. Will he try out the skip? Will not. Not going to try out the Dungeon Man skip. Dungeon Man skip is a one-way skip. You can go into Dungeon Man. But of course they've seen Dungeon Man, so they know where that skip goes. So they know there's no reason to try it out. We've been at Dungeon Man. Dungeon Man was 4-2, I believe. That skipped backwards from 4 to 2. Oh, Thomas accidentally hits the I don't want to keep playing button. Has to reset real quick. Yes, Match Camp Bat is not better than Gutsy Bat. Even without the Guts save, the Gutsy Bat's plus 127 Guts still helps out with the Guts Bash success chance. So even though there is a Bat with a higher offense stat than the Gutsy Bat, as far as actual damage that you can expect over time, Gutsy Bat is still the best Bat around. I don't recall which soundtrack this is. Rough fight for Thomas here. 3 tough enemies. He is real low on psychic points. Let's go ahead and take that reset there. He had a save not too far back. The many, many doors of Onnet giving our runners a little bit of trouble here on floor 5. Oh, Czikubi. I'll get one of these days. Czikubi knocks on a door. Onnet, the hardest room to remember which doors are entry doors and which doors are knock doors. Where is the right way out of Onett? That's what he wants to know. Has he forgotten somewhere? Finds the full heal on 5. That's good, with Ness being dead. Ness being the character best able to deal out the damage is no good to have him dead, so. Look, Czikubi's going to go into Saturn Valley. Sorry, Peaceful Rest Valley. Check out these presents. I don't believe they've picked up a... Either runner has picked up a pencil eraser, so they won't be able to try what is the longest skip in the game. The least shortcutty shortcut. But like I said, there are, I believe, 4 or 5 presents on this side of the pencil eraser in here. 4 or 5 seems a little early to be spending so much time present hunting, but if you need it. Or maybe he did pick up the pencil eraser when I wasn't looking. Little scripted shark enemy goes down very easily. Thomas. And Thomas has found the end of floor 5. The longest sanctuary spot room to go along with the longest skip room on the same floor that Czikubi's in. Big hub and long rooms here on floor 5, but that just means they're not on floor 9, so... No, there's that. Gaia Beam, that's some good damage. 2 best offensive presents you can find in the game. A Gutsy Bat and the Gaia Beam here. Floors 4 and 5. It's interesting. Had either runner, managed to take a skip, skip from, say, 2 to 6 or 3 to 6, they would have missed both of these. As it turns out, both our runners get both of them. Lucky run away from that fight. The electric enemy can deal out a ton of damage very fast. Czikubi's done searching for presents, takes the exit mouse and refills on exit mouse. I like it. I like it a lot. Czikubi is the only runner I've seen use exit mouse as aggressively as I would prefer. Everyone does the exit mouse in the middle of Mole Cave. At least almost everyone does, because almost everyone has seen how much time that saves. Because in Mole Cave, you're more likely to use it. You have so many directions to go, most of them are failed. I would say probably 80% of the time in Mole Cave, you'll end up using that exit mouse. But it's still just as valuable to set your exit mouse on any exit mouse room, in my opinion. You won't use it as often, but it's just as much as a time save, times that you do use it. More thunder enemies. They're out of the way before they do too much damage, so Thomas should still be in decent shape for this boss fight. A sea pendant on 5! Wow! That is a low floor sea pendant. Oh, sorry, he's on 7. I missed a skip at some point. Thomas hasn't been on 5 this whole time. He's been on 7. Let me make sure I know where Czikubi is as well. My mistake. that rat. And the rat goes down. I don't know where that skip was. But Thomas in good shape with a C pendant and going on to floor 8. There's a phone right off of floor 8 with his a phone and a hotel with his full party alive. That's fantastic news to start off a floor with. Thomas on floor 8. I'm still on floor 5, but could clearly be wrong about that. And there it is, everyone's favorite room, the Lost Underworld. Being rather maroon today. Yes, and there is Mole Cave. Yes, Czikubi is on 5. Mole Cave and Annette both on 5. This is a huge floor 5, and it means that whatever skip Thomas took to get him off of 5 in decent time is a big deal. Because with both Annette and Mole Cave here on 5, Czikubi could be here a while. Plots his way through Lost Underworld. Floor 8, there could be good gifts over there, but who wants to slowly plod all the way across Lost Underworld? I sure don't. Hilltop here on floor 8. He finds the full heal for 5. See if Czikubi can find the same skip that Thomas did. Maybe we'll see it. Or if Czikubi just has to go through 4 or 5 the hard way. Powerful equipment we're finding. Great, as one would expect. That's not a real star, man. Be trying to get out of this fight. It's a lot of enemies. There we go. Now, those bombs can be scary, but fortunately when you have both Ness and Jeff with powerful bash attacks, you can usually, thanks to the ludicrous tech speed, get through it at a decent clip. Rare enemy, the large pile of puke. Now the dangerous upchuck. Thankfully, deal with him like you can deal with most enemies, just freeze it. That's an unfortunate red. These aren't rough enemies, so it's not going to punish him too bad. But that just feels unfair. It's an interesting room, and another rough red, this time for Thomas. These enemies are kind of rough. See the deity guy there hits for 100 and... But of course. Downside of auto fight there is when Pooh's taking damage, Ness is taking turns off of bashing to heal, and Ness is your big damage output guy, along with Jeff, but mainly Ness. Means that sometimes it's not as efficient to auto fight as it is just to tap A 8 times and have everyone bash. That even though if Pooh is ticking down to dead, if he's ticking down from 200. Doesn't matter, you can get through 2 or 3 rounds of tapping A 8 times. And end up not wasting as many turns and giving the enemy as many turns to keep doing damage. Bag of Dragonites helpful. Piece goes down without ever having a chance to summon a friend. Very sad. So both our players fairly straightforward task ahead of them. Find the way off of the floor they're on. Thomas on 8. Be on 5. He has checked a lot of doors, and that's because 5 has a lot of doors. It has Central on it, it has Mole Cave. The fresh egg skip, no fresh eggs available. Thomas spent a lot of time down 1 exit off of Northern Onnet. No results, so now he goes down the other side. Could be a loss of time that helps give Czikubi a chance to catch up. I mean, when he gets to 8, he manages to guess the right way first. And yeah, here's the boss to 8. Was not far away at all. Floor 8 could have gone really fast had he just taken the right turn here on Northern Onnet. Instead, he ended up spending some time. Maybe that'll give Czikubi a chance to get back into it. Plenty of psychic points means I expect Thunder and Storm will go down without too much of a fight. Sword of Kings for Czikubi. Sword of Kings on 5 is pretty low. More big rooms on 5. Whatever Skip Thomas took that we didn't see is looking like it's paying off big. Thomas is now on to 9. He's gone through 7 and 8 in the time that's taken Czikubi to just find the boss of 5. Star Pendant. Star Pendant. That's 3 great pendants for Thomas plus Franklin badge. That's where you want to be. Now it's just, where's Gygus? Paula has a ton of hit points and psychic points. Where is Gygus? Not even going to fight that mole. We don't need items. He'll be getting in a rough fight before he can fight the boss of 5 here. That's unfortunate. And switch audio over to Thomas as he's on floor 9 and looking for Gygus. Or maybe I won't, because the floor 9 music is broken apparently. We'll come back to Thomas if Gygus fight starts. How about that? We'll stay on Czikubi for music until then. Yeah, the custom music is a very neat feature, and we've had a lot of neat songs that everyone has added. And unfortunately, custom music is still a little tricky, and there's still a couple bugs I haven't been able to figure out. My apologies for that. Another skip. Do not have the signed banana to take it. If you do notice a particular song that has a problem with it, such as it being far, far, far too loud, if you can take a note of what song it is, the song names are in the credits. Just let me know, and I'll see if I can take care of it. It's just an issue of loudness. I can usually take care of it just by either removing the song or changing it. It's an issue of the instruments getting corrupted. Unfortunately, I have not yet been able to figure out what the cause of that is. So my apologies for that. Hopefully we'll get there someday. Nice green for Thomas from the Starman teleporting right into him. Always risky when that happens, but we get the green. Czikubi sees he's on 6 and gets a refresher of what the bosses are. Extremely green here in Saturn Valley tonight. Racer of Kings, not needed. We've already got a C or star pendant for... But we find the face, so that's the full heal on floor 9. Good to know where that is. Unfortunate it's not one with a phone. Even a phone nearby yet. Thomas goes down to check out the very important bad hole. It's still bad. Hamburger skip for Czikubi. Where will this take him? Oh, no. Mammoth Burger doesn't work for the hamburger skip, as he finds out right now. That's what we discussed earlier. Hamburger works, double burger works, Mammoth Burger does not. Is looking very unusual today. Super Bomb Shop, though, this is big. Finds the double burger, so he can take that to the skip, and he can load up on Super Bombs here. Now, this is interesting. If that skip takes Czikubi to 8 or 9, he could be right back into this. He could catch up to Thomas, and with Super Bombs on his side, his Gygas fight will go a lot faster than Thomas's will. He can also get through, some bad random encounters that Thomas may not be able to. So, this could be big. And secret herbs. So for the chance for the resurrect. This is a really fantastic shop for Czikubi to find. If I can think about things that could get you back into the game from where Czikubi was just a moment ago, I would think a shop with super bombs, secret herbs, and a skip item to a skip that's like 2 rooms away is the dream. Possibly couldn't be better. The question is, where will this hamburger skip lead to? And this is a double skip, so it's 2 chances. Thomas finds Gygas room. The question is he ready? Will he go for it? Will he succeed if he goes for it? Czikubi is in Summers. Where is Summers? We're going to be entering the name at almost the same time, but at completely different places. So Thomas is going to try and go for Gygas. He's just got to get these enemies out of the way. I've looked at the spoiler and I can tell you that Czikubi is now on floor 8. It's not 9, so that's unfortunate. Now this is big. He sees Lost Underworld and he turns around. As we know from watching Thomas, this is the correct direction. So if he can turning around at Lost Underworld is going to end up helping him a lot. You know, he doesn't know whether turning around is the right way or not. For him, it's a coin flip. But it turns out it's the right way, so it's going to be big. Thomas unfortunately gets hit by this star party here, 2 inches away from Gygas. Like he doesn't know exactly what to do about it. Unfortunately, Jeff's going to take a death here. Pooh's probably going to go down as well. Yep, Pooh goes down. Is Ness going to be able to save himself? Yes. Finally gets the runaway. Only got 2 party members alive. I don't know what healing items he has if he can come back here. He does not have any healing items that can get him out of this situation. So, unfortunately, just a step away from Gygas, he has to leave and go find a healing situation. Turns himself around and gets a red swirl there. This is going to be interesting. I didn't see if he set a mouse when he saw this room or not. If he did, then even a death here isn't too bad because he can just go find a full heal, a save, mouse, and then he's right back. If he did not set a mouse, that's a different story. Bashing is not the right move here. Unfortunately, with that decrepit Robo refilling the Starman's hit points, this is not a fight you're going to be able to win in his situation. He needs to be lifing up and running away. He's just going to take the death. So I don't know if anyone saw if he set a mouse at Gygas or not. If he did, this isn't too bad, because he knows where full heal on 9 is. Looks like he did not set the mouse. He's setting the mouse now. Yep, and you can tell he realizes his mistake. And he's setting the mouse there at the phone. That's unfortunate. It's going to reset. I think that's fine. It's not found anything significant. If he didn't set the mouse, then he has not found anything significant since its last save, I don't think. Right, which was at this phone here. He'd rather have the fully alive party and just go back to it. It's a close race. Spooky checking in on those skips. It's floor 8, so none of the skips are going to be full. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting situation. We see that Czikubi, when he comes through here, is not going to be having nearly the same problems with these random enemies that Thomas is having because he found that super bomb vendor. So this will be easier for Czikubi. It will give him chances to catch up. Czikubi's fight will go faster versus Gygas because, again, he'll have super bombs to throw. So he's still 4 back, but it's definitely still possible. Now, if Thomas can remember, been to Gygas. Take a save at this phone, which is much closer. Downside of where that full heal was on floor 9 is that it was pretty far back. Not where you want to see your full heal on floor 9. man, Czikubi keep getting caught on those reds while trying to make moves around enemies as they come. At least the second one, maybe the third one I've seen. It's unfortunate. Now you're trying to make a move, be better positioned, and you end up being worse positioned than you just run into it. Bench here is not bad, and there's a multi-bottle rocket in that box. So this is going to be an interesting question because we've seen the rabbit's foot. So it's going to be an interesting question of if Thomas wants to equip Jeff with the rabbit's foot or the multi-bottle rocket in phase 1 Gygas and then have Jeff switch back to a sea or star pendant for phase 2. It's like he's going to do that. Depending on Pokey's speed, this could really pay off. He confirms he's on 4-8. Now we just have to get through this room again. Did we set the mouse this time is the question. I guess we don't need to set the mouse because of where our save is. Setting a mouse at this situation wouldn't really help. If we take another death, we're just going to reset to that phone that's not too far back, do the very few steps of getting that multi-bottle rocket again. It's not far away. Setting the mouse wouldn't actually help in this. He pokes his head into that skip, but he knows he's on 9. Or sorry, he's on 8. Nothing too useful here. Alright, Thomas gets to the Gygas fight without encountering that Starman this time. Chibuki may be lost on floor 8, may be the issue that's happening right now. Well, sorry, correction, he actually has a completely dead party. So he's looking for a full heal, which is why he's poking his head into those skips. Looking for a full heal. Floor 8 is not where you want to be with only one party member left alive, and it is a worm. Today's Gygas is a worm. Let's see how the multi-bottle rocket does. And let's see, lots of HP from everyone. Ooh, Jeff outspeeds 1451 on the bottle rocket. This will be a very fast phase 1. Paralysis works. What a fantastic turn 1 against Gygas for Thomas. Couldn't have scripted it better. Okay, slightly strong against the freeze, but it's not going to matter when he had lost 1,400 hit points to that multi-bottle rocket. Going to be out of phase 1 in very short order. And as we recall, Thomas has 3 C star pendants and a Franklin badge for phases 2 and 3. So he does need to move Jeff over to the C or star pendant. Wants Jeff to stay alive. But, you know, presumably. But Paula is prey, so it's not technically necessary. Takes 2 thunders to the face. Czikubi with 5 slugs can be really tough in the randomizer, these slugs. See how they treat him. It's that large pizza. We didn't even need that large pizza in phase 1. Oh, I forgot about it. But everyone with very high HP rolls wasn't even necessary. Phase 2 is being a bit of a pain. But with the Franklin badge and the Star Pendant party, it's not too much of a pain, and Thomas is on to phase 3. Czikubi unfortunately did not find the right way to go on floor 8. That's really unfortunate. He's backtracking all the way through Lost Underworld. We know from watching Thomas he's going the wrong direction. I guess with the rude freezing of Paula, that she didn't get her first prayer in. So this brain shock that Pooh just fired off on Gygus is actually going to be undone right now, as after the first prayer, Gygus' stats reset. So that brain shock that Thomas pulled off didn't end up being any use. But it's highly unlikely that it's going to end up mattering. Czikubi unfortunately did not find the right way on floor 8, or else this race could have been a lot closer. Instead, he is back in the search. Where is the way forward? That's just bashing. You know, sometimes you just want to see that Gygus and you just want to hit him. I get it. Out the right house. We know from Tom's exploring this path, the correct path is down the left house. This path will not be fruit. But it's floor 9, we have to check it out. We're going to leave the music on Czikubi, as the Gygus death sounds are usually not very pleasant. Probably be seeing them very soon. Up the bazooka. Go ahead and drop that over. Jeff. Can't think of anyone else. She'll have one more prayer and then she'll think of someone. I guess do one last freeze? No. So with a time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 6 seconds, tsjonte, that's Thomas, wins his second round of Swiss here in the Ancient Cave Tournament rounds. Congratulations to Thomas. Wins out of 2 weeks so far for Thomas. Showing. Lol. Rang. That's a reminder. The Swiss rounds are to determine our seedings for our top 8. Top 8 people after 4 rounds of Swiss will be seeded into our top 8 tournament bracket. It's double elimination. Determine this year's winner, the Ancient Cave Tournament. With 2 rounds, 2 wins out of 2 Swiss, Thomas is well set up. Bracket. Of course, 2 more wins would be nice, but that's what the next 2 weeks. And finish off that prediction. It's tsjonte. Congratulations to him. tsjonte as the winner. Some bits are coming your way, apparently. There is the floor 8 boss. Czikubi. Again, if floor 8 had treated him just a little nicer, this could have been a much closer race. When I saw him turn around when he saw the Lost Underworld, I thought, oh, that's a really good sign for Czikubi. He can really close the gap here. But unfortunately, search did not find him the right path, and he ended up going all the way back through. And then seeing that was the wrong way, so having to go all the way back through again. But we have found the right way. We have found our way to Thunder and Storm, the boss of floor 8, and we'll soon be through to 9. Well, we'll check out Thomas's stats. One chicken freed. Bell button, no problems here. No problem here, I suppose. Not quite his 0 Neil Patrick Harris's last time, but we'll take it. Czikubi also gets the 2 star pendants right off of the entrance to floor 9. So he also will have a Gygas fight once he can get past phase 1. Here's the part in the credits that everyone is fighting for, the Super Series Ancient Cave winners. Again, the winner of this tournament will have their name right here alongside Aurelix and Andy Perfect. Winners of the last 2 years of the Ancient Cave tournament. I'd just like to say thank you to all these people. Patreon, I appreciate your help. Yeah, we do have some Florida 9 music after all. It's there. I will have to check about tomorrow. I'll have to see how my schedule ends up being. This was a last minute pickup, and tomorrow maybe as well. Czikubi almost gets up that ladder in time. That was a gamble. Could have stuck around the bottom of the ladder and got the green swirl on the Starman. They took the gamble that he could get up the ladder fast enough to get out range, but not quite fast enough. Matter of rest of how fast we can. Yeah, I guess. Also, it'll be interesting to see if Czikubi picks up the same multi-bottle rocket that Thomas did, ends up with the same strategy. As we know, it pays off in this speed. Jeff had such high speed that with the rocket, with the rabbit's foot, he ended up outspeeding Gygas, delivering that multi-bottle rocket. Not a surprise it did so much. The conceivably do the 1,000. All congratulations again to Thomas for his victory. Stay on and watch this up. End? Question mark? No, it is not the end. We have a lot more Down Super Series Ancient Cave Tournament coming to you soon. Let me check the spreadsheet and tell you all about it. Our next race is tomorrow night, Proto Man Nerd versus BL Razmu at 8 p.m. Eastern. We currently don't have anyone confirmed to be streaming that here on this channel, but stay tuned. And of course, we don't have a restreamer. You can always check the racers on their own individual channels at that time as they race. That's Proto Man Nerd and BL Razmu. And then the following night, Friday night at 6:15 Eastern, we'll have Dr. Swellman versus Raikau Rider. That will wrap up our second round of Swiss, and we will start our third round. And then we'll have a fourth round, and then we'll have a top 8 bracket. Alright, so here's the room with the bench and the multi-bottle rocket in it. We go check it out. So, up the MBR, tap on the bench. Now will he do the same thing that Thomas did and Jeff over Rabbit's Foot. No, not right now anyway. I'm going to give the BR to Jeff. He's going to Jeff. I assume Jeff was equipped to sharpen it. Might not have been. Probably though. There is Gygus. Spawns being much nicer for Czikubi right at the front of the room. 1 caterpillar instead of 3 diamonds like Thomas got. See if they remain nice all the way to Gygus. Help us see those. See what his plan is. I'm gonna redistribute some super bombs. Item management, everyone's favorite part of Earthbound. It's so fun. Favorite part is waiting for the lag. Spawns much nicer to be the guy gets on his try. Trying to watch as I could during that item management, but I couldn't actually see whether Jeff has the star pendant or the rabbit's foot. Let's see how the MBR does. Or standard turn one, I guess. He has neither equipped, actually. Interesting. This MBR without the rabbit's foot still does 1076. Still a significant chunk of of Poki's starting health. And the num works, so again, be a straightforward phase 1. Especially with super bombs to help out. Put it with psychic points. Dragonite. Or if Czikubi is wondering about skipping the shield and trying to get Poki down this turn. Could have. Of course, that's a very risky move for a very minimal gain. Especially if you take time thinking about it. undoing the very minimal gain that you get out of it. Randomizer, you never know exactly what Poke's hits are going to be. And Paula, our prayer, presumably equipped with a star pendant and a Franklin badge. So there's the badge and star. Should be pretty straightforward. Well, getting the damage out might take a bit with the whole party going down, but... Hey, Gygus helping out. Thanks, Gygus. We'll have that bag of Dragonite in this. Nothing particularly matters here, it's just a matter of however you want to finish it out. That'll be enough to move to 3. So, failing Gygus getting about 24 freeze and solidifies in a row, this should be about over. This randomizer is available on earthbound.app if you haven't been there. You can check it out. You don't have to race it, you can play it just casually if that's what you prefer. But I like to think it's also pretty fun for racing. Let's count down these 9 prayers. I guess we'll be down. I guess changes modes, telling us we have 2 left. Now, the question is, will Ness survive, I suppose? He does. And with a solid time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 31 seconds, he finishes up and takes down Gygus. We now 1-1 in Swiss. Still in solid position. More rounds, plenty of time to pick up some more wins for better bracket position. GG's and congratulations. We'll keep the stream up long enough to see the L button no problem here for Czikubi. Important, as it's our tiebreaker. I'll go ahead and say my goodbyes now as Gygus begins to fade out. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. The Earthbound Super Series channel, like I said, we may be on tomorrow night, and if not, we'll definitely be on Friday night. And then, of course, weeks 3 and 4 and the bracket portion are all coming up. Stay tuned. Lots and lots of good Ancient Cave Randomizer races ahead. Alright, I guess that's enough. Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. We'll see you again here next time. Have a good night.